Well, good morning. Welcome. We'll start today in a seated position. So, if you're not already in a seat that feels comfortable for you, go ahead and come into one. And then just allow your eyes to close. Start to check in with your body, start to check in with your mind, your heart. How are you feeling today? What are you aware of? And as you start to become aware of how you feel today, before we do some movement, begin to deepen your breath so that each breath supports any inquiry or discovery that you make about yourself and your body. A couple of deep breaths, let the shoulders relax down the back. Then we'll join our palms in front of the heart. Interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up, and then start to reach up through one hand and up through the other side, left and right a few times. Give a little gentle tug on your fingers by the opposite hand, stretching into each palm and wrist and arm and side of the body. All right, let the hands separate. Take them behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open up across the chest. Begin to gently turn the head side to side. All right, after you've turned your head left and right several times, then reach the chin up toward the ceiling and drop it down toward the chest. Again, lifting up and dropping down. And once more, lifting and dropping. All right, bring your head up to center. Release your hands. Let your hands rest on your thighs and then shrug your shoulders up. Take them back and down. Again, shrugging up and back and down. And then once more up and back and down. All right, so we'll take the right hand out to the side. Just walk it out a little bit. Leaning into that right hand, we'll take the left hand to the left shoulder and start to rotate a couple of times in one direction. And then a couple of times the opposite way. All right, sweep your left arm up alongside your head. Reaching with your left hand, squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through the wrist. A couple times each way. All right, take a deep breath in and lift up. And exhale, release the left hand down. Walk it out a little bit, leaning into that left hand. Take the right hand to the right shoulder and start to rotate. Taking a couple of circles in one direction. And then a couple of circles the opposite way. All right, sweep the right arm up alongside the head. Reaching with your right hand, squeeze and release the fingers, as well as rotate through the wrist. Again, a few times each way. All right, deep breath in, lifting up. And breathing out, release your hand down. All right, we'll shift onto hands and knees. So as you bring yourself to hands and knees, start with your hands about shoulder distance apart. And we'll just start with the knees close together. And then lift the left knee up and out to the side. And we'll start to rotate through the hip. So your left knee is drawing a big circle in space. Couple of times in one direction. And a couple times the opposite way. All right, and then inhale, reach the left foot back. Exhale, pull the left knee into the chest and round your back. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, taking the left leg back this time, cross it over the right leg, drop the toes. Spin your fingers out and then curve the spine to the right. So you're peeking back at that left foot. Sensing all the way up the left side of the body. Couple rounds of breath. All right, bring the torso back to neutral. Pick your left foot up, step it forward to your left hand. So you're stepping into a short lunge with that left knee over the ankle, and then the right hip is roughly over the knee. I'll take the right hand across to rest on the left knee, and then sweep the left hand forward and up, and then back and down. Rotating through your left shoulder, drawing a big circle here. All right, one more full circle. All right, then take both hands down to rest on the floor and step forward into your forward fold. Now you might start with your feet a little bit wider than your hips and then just sway the weight side to side. Shift a little to the left and a little over to the right. Another full breath in and out. And then take your hands to the floor, walk your feet back so that you have your hips up into the air as we come into downward facing dog. Pressing the belly toward the thighs, lift the hips high, and then release down to your knees. So we'll do the other side of that sequence. So start with your knees close together, and then lift the right knee up and out to the side. And then we'll start with a few circles in one direction. Circling from the hip, try to keep your arms straight and your torso relatively still. All right, change directions. All right, then with your next in-breath, reach the right foot back. Exhale, right knee into the chest, rounding the back. Twice more, inhale, right leg back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more, inhale back. And exhale, knee into the chest. So as you take your right leg back this time, cross it over the left leg, drop the toes, spin your fingers out to the sides, and curve the spine to the left. So you're peeking back at that right foot, sensing all the way up the right side of the body. All right, then as you bring your torso back to neutral, step the right foot forward to the right hand. Lift the torso up. Take the left hand across to rest on the right knee, and then sweep the right hand forward and up, and back and down. Rotating a few times here through the right shoulder. All right, take one more full circle. All right, once again, take the hands down to the floor and step forward. Back into that same forward fold. And you can take your feet a little wider than your hips, folding over, releasing the weight of the head. Relax your facial muscles, your cheeks, your jaw. Give the head a little shake out, yes and no. All right, walk the hands up, the fronts of the legs rising up to stand. All right, so we'll step our feet about hip distance. And then as we inhale, press the hips back, Float the arms up as you come into chair pose. Take a little bit more weight into your heels than the balls of your feet. And then as you next exhale, press into your heels, rise up to stand, and reach your arms back in space. So you're opening up across your chest. Twice more as you inhale into chair pose. Exhale, press through your heels, rising up, reach back. All right, one more like that. Breathing in. And breathing out. All right, now with your left foot forward, step back with your right foot. So you've got the right toes slightly turned out to the side, but just a little bit. And then bring your arms forward, let the palms touch. Getting grounded into both feet. Balance out the weight, left foot, right foot. Take a breath in with hands together. And then as you exhale, sweep your left arm up and back. All right, complete the circle as the arm comes forward, breathing in. Exhale up and back. All right, one more full circle. All right, as your left hand comes forward now, we'll pull the hands into the heart. Shift your weight forward. We're going to balance on this left foot. So shifting the weight forward. Step the right foot just slightly forward. So you've got most of your weight in your left foot, very little weight in the right foot. And then if this is feeling challenging, just stay here. If you want a little bit more challenge, maybe experiment with taking that right foot up off the floor. Maybe the thigh comes parallel to the floor. If you want to be near a wall so your hand can lightly touch the wall or a chair, feel free to do that. But take as much weight as you can into your left foot and really push down with that left foot. All right, now we'll take our arms up and out to the sides. Keep rooting down through that left foot. Right foot might be touching down or right foot might be lifted. See what works best for you today. And then 2 more breaths. All right, release your arms and your leg. Give yourself a little shake. And then we'll do the other side. So right foot is forward, step your left foot back. Left toes are turning out just a little bit. Arms come forward. Palms touch. Deep breath in with the hands together. And exhale the right arm up and back. Complete circle as the arm comes forward, breathing in. Exhale up and back. All right, one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, as your palms come back together, pull them into the heart. Shift your weight forward, this time balancing on the right foot. So step the left foot a little bit forward, but take most of the weight into your right foot. So very little weight in the left foot. All right, as before, you might keep the ball of the left foot just slightly touching the floor, or you might start to lift your leg up. And then if you need to take the foot right back down, do that. But experiment with seeing how long you can keep your leg lifted up. All right, take the arms up and out. Spread the fingers wide. All right, take one more breath. And then release your arms and leg and give yourself a little shake. All right, so we'll turn and step wide on the mat. All right, then turn the toes slightly out, heels slightly in, and then begin to bend your knees and squat down. And so as you're squatting down, start to push your knees back in space. So instead of letting the knees just kind of drop in, really press them back. So you feel your hips engage and you feel a bit of a stretch in your inner thighs. All right, then we'll take the arms up and do essentially the same thing. So elbows are bent, press back with your elbows, open up across the chest, but feel the muscles between your shoulder blades engage. All right, squatting down here, take up lots of space. We'll take 10 breaths. In through the nose and then out through the mouth. 4 more. Last 2. All right, straighten your legs, release your arms, let the feet go parallel to each other. And then we'll step the feet a little closer to each other, but still a little bit wider than the hips. We'll do breath of joy. So in the breath of joy breathing practice, you're breathing in 3 times and then out 1 time. So as you breathe in, you're taking the arms forward and then out and then up. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, sweep your arms back, exhaling out the mouth. So 1 round looks like this. So in, out. And we'll do around 20 breaths, though I always count, so we'll see how many it actually is. So standing with a little bounce in your knees, let's begin. Last one. And then pause, folded about halfway forward with your forearms resting on your thighs and your knees slightly bent. Let the energy settle back down a little bit. All right, gradually rise back to stand and step near the back of your mat. We'll take our palms together in front of the heart. As we inhale, reach up. As we exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, walk the hands out to find downward facing dog. Again, hips up in the air. Straighten out your arms and legs as much as they're able to, but really focus on lifting the hips. So for many of us, that means keeping a big bend in the knees so we get that sense of length in the spine. All right, 2 more breaths. All right, release down to your knees. Untuck your toes, sit back towards your heels. As you come into child's pose, you might rest your head on your hands crossed. You might take your head to the floor, a pillow, a block. And then take a few rounds of breath here, softening into relative stillness. Coming back into awareness of the breath flowing in through the nose, down toward the belly, and back up and out through the nose. All right, 1 more cycle of breath. And so we'll conclude as we began in a seated position. So bring yourself back into your comfy seat. And as you come into your comfy seat, we'll practice alternate nostril breathing. So you'll use your right hand to do this. And just take your peace fingers in toward your palm. So you have your thumb and your ring finger to block your nostrils. So take the right thumb to the right nostril. And then inhale through the left side. Close it off, open the right, and exhale. Inhale, right side. Close it off, open the left, exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. And exhale, left. And then just release your right hand down, allowing the breath to flow without restriction in and out of the body. Perhaps observing or sensing the temperature, the relative temperature of the breath that flows in and out of the body. Cooler as it enters, warmer as it exits. And then we'll guide our palms together in front of the heart, bowing to the light within ourselves as well as each other. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we know peace. Thank you again for practicing with me. Do this every Friday, 9 o'clock Central, about a half an hour or so. See you next week. Bye-bye.